Chapter 1: The Macroeconomy. At the macro level, the constraints that hinder the functioning of the economy basically revolve around the fiscal and monetary policies. How the government conducts its fiscal and monetary policies can have serious implications on the behavior of capital formation, the government's ability to carry out its functions, and the overall competitiveness of the economy. Strategies on the fiscal sector include reform measures to improve revenue collection, in particular, tax administrative reforms that would help increase tax collections, and tax policy reforms that will address the structural weaknesses in the current tax system will actively be pursued. Measures to enhance the collection on non-tax revenues by the government will be implemented, including ensuring the fair contribution of government corporations to the government coffers via prompt remittance of dividends. The expenditure reform measures that have been introduced in recent years will continue to be strengthened and revitalized to improve resource allocation and build results orientation in government services. The Fiscal Responsibility Bill will be revived to strengthen fiscal discipline in the public sector by prescribing principles of responsible fiscal management, establishing control mechanisms on spending, and adopting preventive measures against the erosion of the tax base of the government. Government also aims to build a smaller bureaucracy and improve public service delivery, as well as undertake procurement reforms and strengthen the internal control system of government entities to reduce waste and corruption. The government will embark on more ways to further strengthen public expenditure management. Reforms in the management of debt also need to be implemented. A dedicated unit needs to be set up to conduct more aggressive options at the most opportune time to optimize savings, more diversification of modes, instruments used, and currency mix, and introduction of innovative terms and features also need to be put in place. Likewise, all types of projects funded out of borrowing should be subject to the rigid test of project viability and procurement processes, conducted with the highest standards of transparency. The extent of contingent public exposure should be clearly identified, and appropriate allocations in the budget should be made in future years. On the monetary and external side, policies will be directed in support of the government's commitment to low and stable inflation that is conducive to balanced and sustainable growth, reduced external vulnerabilities, and stronger financial capitalization, supervision, and market discipline. The government shall pursue policies in support of the further strengthening of the price stability objective. On the external sector, the government shall adopt measures that will protect the economy from external shocks, ensure the health of the country's balance of payments position, and maintain the sustainability of the external debt over the medium term. To this end, strategies shall focus on increasing the ratio of exports to gross domestic product and identifying strategies to diversify the export space, maintaining the external debt to a more manageable and sustainable levels, and supporting a market-determined exchange rate and providing measures to avoid large swings that could affect the inflation target. It is essential that government sets the conditions towards a stable macroeconomic environment conducive to sustaining a higher growth path. Thus, the main task of macroeconomic policy requires addressing the narrow fiscal space and maintaining a sustainable fiscal position. On the monetary and external side, this means commitment to low and stable inflation, conducive to balanced and sustainable growth, reduced external vulnerabilities, and stronger financial capitalization, supervision, and market discipline.